بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Welcome all of you to our 7th session of the Arabic conversational course, and today inshallah ta'ala we're going to start with unit 4 الحياة اليومية. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, or for those of you that feel like they need to brush up on what they've missed, or they need to brush up on what they've learned before because of the long break that we had, then inshallah, don't worry, after today's lecture, or after this week's lessons, today's lecture and Tuesday's lecture, we're going to be having a revision week inshallah in preparation for the midterm exam. Okay, so we're going to get this unit out of the way, inshallah, unit 4, and then after that, inshallah ta'ala, we can go back to everything we've done so far, revise it. There's going to be a whole week that is specifically for revision only, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, let me share my screen. Here we are on week 4, daily life. A quick overview of today's unit, inshallah, like we always do. We have what are we going to learn? Start off with the theme for this week is Al-Hayat Al-Yawmiyya, daily life. And in this theme we will be talking about one's daily activities, the things that you do on a daily basis, such as sleeping and waking up and going to school and so on and so forth. And also you learn how to ask about or mention the time. Okay, and also you'll talk about some of the different modes of transport. In terms of the vocabulary of this unit, then the core vocabulary is about daily activities, a few more household objects, and also time. Okay, how to say the time, the different hours, and so on and so forth. The supplementary vocabulary for this week is about ordinal numbers. Okay, so far we've done all of the numbers of the Arabic alphabet. Sorry. We've done the numbers of the Arabic language from 1 to 10. Okay, 1, 2, 3 up to 10. Those are what we call cardinal numbers. The ordinal numbers are the numbers which show us the order of things. So first, second, third, fourth. So those are the numbers we're going to learn in this unit, inshallah. Some of the themed vocabulary that you'll find inside Quizlet that is related to this week's unit is theme 3 about clothes. Okay, because they have to do with daily activities, housewares, and also frequently used items. So you'll find that those words are related to today's unit. Okay, in terms of grammar, then we'll be learning a few more interrogative words. It's really important to learn these words, to ask questions, specifically for someone who is new to learning the language. The greatest tool in your arsenal is going to be these question words, or these interrogative words, because with these interrogative words you can kind of like put the ball in the other person's court. Okay, whenever you get stuck, you can throw in a question. Okay, really important for beginners in any language. We're going to continue as well learning about verbs, and in this week we're going to talk about the future tense. Okay, and there is no future tense actually in the Arabic language, but how do you mention, or how do you make a verb happen in the future? Okay, so we'll talk about that, and also we'll talk about how to negate things. with the word la. طيب. That's a quick overview of what we're going to be doing inshallah ta'ala in this week's unit. These are the projected learning outcomes. You're going to be learning another 22 words from the core vocabulary. The interrogative words we're going to learn, or you'll be able to correctly apply them, mata and mada. You'll be able to change any verb to the future tense, and you'll be able to negate a statement with using la. In terms of comprehension, then you'll understand in your day-to-day interactions with Arabic speakers when they talk about, or when you're talking about your daily activities, or when they're talking about their daily activities, and also how to ask others about time. In terms of pronunciation, the sounds for this week, then they are the two letters ta and ta. Ta and ta. How to differentiate between them. And likewise, some speaking skills related to this week's theme. The first thing we're going to do, inshallah, start off with the dialogue. So we're going to listen to the dialogue, inshallah, and then after that we'll break down the vocabulary and the grammar concepts in each dialogue, inshallah ta'ala. طيب. Any questions so far?
الوحدة الرابعة.
Okay, no questions. Okay, great. Alright, let's go on to the dialogues.
الوحدة الرابعة. الحياة اليومية.
طيب.
الدرس 28. الحوار الأول. انظر واستمع. متى تستيقظ؟
أستيقظ عند الفجر.
أين تصلي الفجر؟
أصلي الفجر في المسجد.
هل تنام بعد الصلاة؟
لا، لا أنام بعد الصلاة.
ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة؟
أقرأ القرآن.
ومتى تذهب إلى المدرسة؟
أذهب الساعة 7.
هل تذهب بالسيارة؟
لا، أذهب بالحافلة. والآن جاء دورك. انظر واستمع وأعد.
After the dialogue and after they read the dialogue, you should read. So the first part of the audio says listen. The second part of the audio is listen and repeat. Okay? طبعا we're not going to do that in the general lecture, inshallah. The reading fluency will be developed in the workshops. Inshallah, you'll read. Every student will get a chance to read these dialogues. So let's go on to the vocabulary.
الوحدة الرابعة.
These are the new words.
الحياة اليومية. الدرس 28. المفردات. العرض. انظر واستمع وأعد. ينام.
ينام. Repeat after. Huh?
يستيقظ.
يستيقظ.
يذهب.
يذهب.
الساعة 7.
الساعة 7.
سيارة.
سيارة.
حافلة.
حافلة.
مدرسة.
مدرسة. Okay, so these are the new words. Obviously, we do the pre-unit. We have assigned the pre-unit assignments. Part of the pre-unit assignments is practicing your vocab. Okay, so I'm assuming that all of you know your vocabulary. Okay, but just to be sure, if there's any of these words that you don't understand, then let's quickly find out on WooClap. Let me send the link, by the way, to WooClap. You'll find in the chat. Okay, everyone join us on WooClap. طيب, is everyone there? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to show you if there's any words that you don't understand, then just select it, inshallah. You can just put the pin there. So these are the words that we've learned: ينام, يستيقظ, يذهب, الساعة السابعة, سيارة, حافلة, مدرسة. Okay, so حافلة, one person selected حافلة. حافلة means bus. Okay, حافلة means bus. طيب, so I assume the rest of you know the vocab, and this is what should be the case, obviously, because before you come to the lesson you should know your vocabulary. That's one thing you can do by yourself. Okay, memorizing the vocab, you don't need anyone's help on that, inshallah. Okay, so in Quizlet you have the actual word, you have the English translation of it, so make sure you memorize it, inshallah. يستيقظ means to wake up. طيب, okay, now let's go on to the complicated part, which is the actual grammar. Okay, what do we learn in terms of grammar? Okay, this is a portion that I've selected from the dialogue. It's not the whole dialogue, but here we have quite a few things that might be new to us. Okay, first we have this word over here, meta. So that's the interrogative word that we talked about, which means when, asking about when something took place. Okay, now obviously this word meta, it can only come before a verb. Okay, why is that? Who can tell us? Why does meta only occur before a verb and not before a noun? Okay, you can just type in the chat, or I can also pose the question on WooClap. Probably better. Why does meta only occur before a verb? نعم, أحسنت. طيب, why does meta only occur before a verb? It's asking about an action. So why can't it ask about a noun? Because it means when. Okay, but what does that mean? Okay, meta is asking about an action. Why is it asking about an action? Why can't it ask about a noun? Why can't I say meta Muhammadun? Okay, so someone is giving the answer already in the Zoom chat, which is only action is specified by time. Nouns are timeless. In other words, we mentioned this before when we talked about the definition of verbs and nouns. Nouns don't have a notion of time to them. A noun is not connected to time. Okay, so if I say Muhammad, if I say Khalid, there's no aspect of time to it. The aspect of time, past, present and future, only applies to verbs. So verbs are things, are actions that either happened in the past, or they're happening now, or happening in the future. Okay, so generally speaking, meta only comes before a verb. Okay, generally speaking. Okay, طيب. when is dealt with time and only verbs are time sense. نعم. Okay, so we have متى. متى تستيقظ. So that's why متى didn't come before in the book, because verbs were only introduced, I think, in the third unit, and only in this unit are we introducing an extra tense, which is the future tense. So متى تستيقظ, when do you wake up? When do you wake up? Why did I say you wake up? Where did I get the you from? Because of the ta over here, which is a sign that there's a pronoun hidden, which is you. أستيقظ عند الفجر. عند is a new word as well, is a preposition, just like في. Okay, and obviously we use prepositions for time as well as place. Okay, so أستيقظ عند الفجر, I wake up, close to Fajr. عند means something close to. Okay, at Fajr. أين تصلي الفجر? Where do you pray Fajr? أين. Okay, so a verb, my dear brothers and sisters, it needs to take place in two containers. It needs to have it needs to happen at a specific time, at a specific place. Okay, a verb has to happen at a specific time, at a specific place. Okay, so he wakes up around Fajr time. The next question is أين تصلي الفجر? Where do you pray Fajr? أصلي الفجر في المسجد. في preposition. Okay, and look here, مسجدي is got كسر at the end. فجري is got كسر at the end as well. Okay, عند الفجر, because the preposition, we've done that before. هل تنام بعد الصلاة? هل, another question word. Okay, so as you can see, this whole conversation here, they're nothing but questions, and each one starts with a question word, interrogative word. And this is also another important thing that you should know, which is in Arabic, these interrogative words that you use to ask questions, they always come at the beginning. So we have متى, أين, هل, ماذا. Okay, all these are questions. Then we have the word here he negated. He said لا أنام بعد الصلاة. No, I do not. لا أنام, I do not sleep. I do not sleep after the prayer. طيب, ماذا. This is the first time we see ماذا. Okay, now question is, what's the difference between ماذا and ما? In English they both mean what. Okay, but in Arabic, what's the difference? Let me ask that question. What's the difference between ماذا and ما? Who knows? They would both translate to what in English. Okay, but in Arabic there's a difference between ماذا and ما. In English they're just one what, it's the same, it's just one word, but in English it's different. نعم أحسنت. So yes, ما is used for nouns, ماذا is used for verbs. Okay, نعم أحسنتم. Okay, so that's why we have ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة. We can't say ما تفعل بعد الصلاة. Okay, we can say ما, but it wouldn't be a question. Okay, it wouldn't be a question. So when it comes to asking a question, as in what, when it's a verb, you want to ask what a person did or what a person is going to do, you have to use ماذا تفعل بعد الصلاة. أقرأ القرآن. طيب, so that's with regards to the first dialogue. Those are the grammar concepts related to the first dialogue. We present these grammar concepts with each dialogue, inshallah, but then at the end, inshallah, we will summarize all of it, inshallah, and give it in one go. Okay, let's go on to the next dialogue. So this is dialogue number 2.
الوحدة الرابعة. الحياة اليومية.
الدرس 29.
الحوار الثاني. انظر واستمع.
هذا يوم العطلة.
هذا يوم العمل.
ماذا ستفعل يا طارق؟
سأكنس غرفة الجلوس.
وماذا ستفعلين يا فاطمة؟
سأكنس غرفة النوم.
وماذا ستفعل يا أحمد؟
سأغسل الملابس.
وماذا ستفعلين يا لطيفة؟
سأكوي الملابس.
أنا سأغسل الأطباق.
وأنا سأقرأ القرآن.
والآن جئ.
الوحدة
Ustad, you're muted.
Oh, okay, sorry about that. Yeah, that was the dialogue. Now let's go over the vocab, inshallah.
الوحدة الرابعة. الحياة اليومية.
الدرس 29. المفردات. العرض. انظر واستمع وأعد. يوم العمل. يوم العطلة.
يوم العطلة.
أطباق.
أطباق.
يكنس.
يكنس.
ملابس.
ملابس.
يغسل.
يغسل. I expect everyone to repeat after, huh? By yourself.
يكوي.
يكوي. طيب. Quickly, if there's any vocabulary you don't understand, then just select them in WooClap. So we have يوم العمل, يوم العطلة, أطباق, يكنس, ملابس, يغسل, and يكوي. Okay, يوم العمل. يوم العمل means work day. So يوم means day, عمل means work. So يوم العمل, the day of work. In other words, a work day. Whereas يوم العطلة, عطلة means vacation, and يوم is day, so day of vacation, or an off day if you like, okay, or a break, or a holiday. أطباق is the plural of طبق, which means plates. طبق is plate, أطباق is plates, okay. يغسل means to wash. يغسل means to wash, okay. طيب, ممتاز. Going on to the grammar concepts, then we have a few things we need to cover. Dialogue 2, grammar. الأم ماذا ستفعل يا طارق. So again, ماذا, we've already talked about this, huh? It comes before verbs. ستفعل يا طارق. So you'll notice this scene over here, okay. What does this scene denote? So we have ماذا تفعل يا طارق. We know that. تفعل, تعمل, تكنس, تكوي. Okay, these are verbs. But why the scene at the beginning? Why ستفعل? This is what we call the scene of future. Okay, it basically turns the present tense into future tense. So what are you going to do, O Tariq? Not what are you doing. ماذا تفعل يا طارق means what are you doing, طارق. يعني what are you doing now. ماذا ستفعل يا طارق means what are you going to do, يا طارق. Okay, so scene takes the مضارع or the present tense, okay, and it turns it into future tense. Now the Arabic language doesn't actually have future tense, as in doesn't have, is not one of the types of the verb, right? But يعني the future tense in Arabic is not made by changing the verb. We get a future tense by just adding a scene. By just adding a scene. Okay? طيب. Then we have سأكنس غرفة الجلوس. غرفة. Why does this have a fatha? Why is it غرفة الجلوس and not غرفة الجلوس? Okay. Something we've done last time, but I think is worth asking again. Why does it have fatha? Okay. You should know the answer to that. Why is it غرفة الجلوس and not غرفة الجلوس? Dhamma is normally the default. Normally you should have Dhamma. Because of verb before. No. No. That's the wrong answer. That is a wrong answer. And I'll tell you why in a moment. Why is it غرفة الجلوس? Because it is the subject of a verb. No. That's also the wrong answer. That's also the wrong answer. Subject means fa'il, huh? Look, if you get confused by the English, you can write the Arabic if you want, I don't mind. The Arabic we have fa'il, we have maf'ulun bihi. Subject means fa'il. And the subject of a verb has dhamma. That's the default. Okay? The verb affects the following letter to have fatha. Not necessarily. This is same as the previous answer, which is because of the verb before. As in, saying that when you have a verb and then the word that comes after it has a fatha, that's incorrect. Because we mentioned last time that the Arabic language is a 3-word order language. The words can be in any order. Okay? Generally speaking. So you can have the verb over here and then it can be followed by the object or the subject or anything. Okay, so you can never know the i'rab, if you like, of a word just because it comes after a verb. That means nothing. So we can't say that he has a fatha because a verb came before it. لا. Okay? Object. نعم مفعول به أحسنتم. So yes, so those of you that wrote object or مفعول به أحسنتم. You remember last time's lesson, what we've covered. Okay, and we're gonna revisit it again inshallah. But this is what we call مفعول به. Okay, سأكنس غرفة الجلوس. This is the object of the verb. What is he going to vacuum? Okay, سأكنس means I will vacuum. What is he going to vacuum? The living room. غرفة الجلوس. Okay, so it's the object of the verb. طيب, here we have وماذا ستفعلين يا فاطمة. ماذا ستفعلين. This in at the end. What does it denote? What's it for? Okay, so let me ask that question as well. I always like to ask the questions first before explaining it, because that way once we give the explanation at the end it will stick inshallah. So what does the ina denote? Female. You female. نعم أحسنت. It denotes you female, not just female. Female could also be she. It could also be I or whatever. You female. In other words, it's called the mukhatabah, the person you're addressing. Okay, so whenever you're addressing a female, singular female, then you add an ina to the verb, and we'll explain that inshallah in a moment. Okay, so that's what it's for basically. So when it was Ahmed, or when it was Tariq, we said ستفعل. When it came to Fatima, we said ستفعلين. Okay, طيب ممتاز. Let's go on to the third and final dialogue. Okay, Bismillah.
الوحدة الرابعة. الحياة اليومية.
الدرس 30.
الحوار الثالث. انظر واستمع.
متى تستيقظ يوم العطلة؟
أستيقظ مبكرا. ومتى تستيقظ أنت؟
أستيقظ متأخرا.
ماذا تفعل في الصباح؟
أشاهد التلفاز. وماذا تفعل أنت؟
أقرأ صحيفة أو كتابا.
أين تصلي الجمعة؟
أصلي الجمعة في المسجد الكبير. وأين تصلي أنت؟
أصلي في المسجد الكبير أيضا.
Okay.
والآن جاء
The new words. Repeat
الوحدة
after.
الرابعة.
Nearest says it. Make sure you repeat
الحياة
after as well, inshallah.
اليومية.
الدرس 30. المفردات. العرض. انظر واستمع وأعد. كتاب. صحيفة. تلفاز. يشاهد. الصباح. كبير. مبكرا. متأخرا.
طيب. These are the words. Let's see quickly if there are any words that you don't understand. Select any words that you don't understand, inshallah. Okay, so we have صحيفة. صحيفة means newspaper. Okay, so those of you that have selected صحيفة, صحيفة means newspaper. Let me share the screen again. Okay. مبكرا means early. متأخرا means late. مبكرا means early. متأخرا means late. يشاهد means to watch. الصباح is morning. Okay. طيب. In terms of when it comes to this final dialogue, there's only one extra or one new, if you like, concept I'll quickly cover. We have أين تصلي الجمعة. عادل asks. Faisal replies أصلي الجمعة في المسجد الكبير. Okay, now this word al-kabir, grammatically what would we call it? Grammatically, I think we've covered it last time, it's an adjective. Okay, it's an adjective. And the important thing here when it comes to the adjective is that the adjective needs to it follows the noun in everything. So this noun over here, yes, this noun, which is modified by this adjective they call it, it's basically this word describes this word. Okay, then it has to be the same in terms of, we mentioned 4 things. Okay, so if it has to be the same in terms of gender. So masjid is masculine, kabir has to be masculine. Okay, if this was sayyara, for example, which is feminine, it would have been sayyarati al-kabirati. That's one. So it needs to follow it in gender. It needs to follow it in number. Masjid is singular, kabir needs to be singular. It needs to follow it as well in terms of definiteness or indefiniteness. So this one has alif lam, this one also has to have alif lam. And finally it has to follow it as well in terms of i'rab, i.e. the fatha, kasra, dhamma at the end, it has to be the same. So masjidi al-kabiri. This is really important. Okay, now adjectives in the English language, okay, and this is something you have to pay attention to, they say the adjective first and then the noun. So in English it would translate to I pray Jumu'ah in the big mosque. The big mosque. So big came before mosque. In Arabic, la, it's the opposite. You mention the noun first, which is masjid, and then you mention all of its attributes or adjectives after the noun, which to me makes more sense anyway. to me it makes more sense that you say masjid first and then you give it the different adjectives that it has. Okay. أصلي الجمعة في المسجد الكبير. طيب, that's the only concept that is new in the third dialogue. طيب, now we're going to do a quick Quizlet competition to see who is on top of his vocabulary and who's not. Okay. So let me select it quickly. Okay, so you're going to see the English and you need to select the Arabic. Okay. I'll post the link in the chat. Yes. There you go, everyone. Okay, طيب, shall we start? طيب, let's create the game. Okay, ready? Let's start. Bismillah. 3, 2, 1. Okay, mashallah, it's tight. We have lynx and tigers, mashallah. Makes sense. Lynx are ahead. Mashallah, T-Rex. Didn't know dinosaurs were quick. Mashallah, T-Rex won. Mashallah. Okay, followed by lynx and pumas. Okay. Let's play again. We'll normally do best out of 3 rounds, eh? Okay, is everyone ready? Hedgehogs, Allah ya'inakum. We have hedgehogs, you have mashallah. Type 3, 2, 1, start. Okay, inshallah. Cheetah, I expect cheetahs to win, inshallah. Okay, mashallah, lynx are doing good again. What happened to T-Rex? Oh, T-Rex is falling behind this time. It's between rhinos and lynx. Lynx is gonna win, I think. Mashallah, ahsant. Aisha, okay. Alright, one last time. Bismillah. Ready? Yallah. Okay, we're gonna start again. 3, 2, 1, go. One last round. you're not able to join the quiz. Sorry, we'll fix that inshallah. Did you join the Quizlet class? Inshallah, we'll help you with that inshallah. Okay. We have, it's a tight one, this one. Rhinos, lynx, tigers. Between lynx and tigers. Is lynx gonna win again? Yeah, mashallah. Aisha. Yeah, that's it. Best out of 3. Aisha is today's winner, mashallah. Allahumma barik. Okay, that's great. Mumtaz. Okay, so now we are going to explain. So we're done with the vocabulary, alhamdulillah. And next we're going to explain the grammar concepts in a bit more detail. We got about 12 minutes, inshallah, before the workshop starts. Okay. Bismillah. So we're going to talk about the grammar concepts in a bit more detail. Just give me one moment, please. Just give me 1 minute. Type, let's continue. Sorry about that. Okay. So grammar. We have 3 things to cover, inshallah. Number 1, when it comes to the interrogative words, then we've got 2 new interrogative words that we've got here in this particular unit, which is meta and mada. We already talked about them. Meta is asking about when, only comes before the verb, and mada also only comes before the verb. Okay, we already talked about the difference between ma and mada, which is that mada comes before verbs and ma comes before nouns. Okay. طيب ممتاز. So that's straightforward. When it comes to the verbs, this can get a little bit complicated. We've talked about fa'il before, haven't we? Which is the verb subject, or the doer, the person who did the action. Okay? And when it comes to the fa'il, then sometimes the fa'il, or the doer, it's the noun is there. It's just a normal noun. Like I can say, for example, يأكل محمد الأرز. Muhammad is eating rice. Okay? Or for example, يستيقظ طارق مبكرا. Tariq wakes up early. Okay, so here we have the doer, it's there. يستيقظ طارق. Straightforward. But sometimes we don't have an actual explicit noun there. Okay, sometimes it's a personal pronoun. Okay, sometimes the personal pronoun that returns back to someone that has already been mentioned. So we mentioned when we talked about personal pronouns, we use them so that we don't need to repeat the same name all the time. Okay, so as a quick recap, what are the 5 personal pronouns that we've done so far? So you can answer that in WooClap. What are the 5 personal pronouns that we've done so far? So far we've only done the singular personal pronouns, and there are 5 in total. Write them down, inshallah. What are the 5 personal pronouns we've done so far? أنا هو هي أنت أنت. Okay, correct. So أنا أنت and أنت هو and هي. Okay, أحسنت. Okay, that would suffice. Okay, so we have أنا أنت أنت هو and هي. أحسنتم. فهمتم. Those are the 5 personal pronouns we've done so far. Okay, the next question. How many personal pronouns as verb subjects have we come across so far? Okay, let me explain that question a bit more. Okay, basically the personal pronouns أنا أنت هو هي, yes, these are the detached personal pronouns. Okay, we use them when it comes to nominal sentences. But how many personal pronouns do we come across that can actually be a verb subject, a fa'il? Okay, so a pronoun that is actually a fa'il. How many of those did we come across so far? 4. Somebody said 5. So we have 4 and 5. Mainly 4. Someone said 3. Okay. Well, the answer is 0. Answer is 0. So far we haven't come across a personal pronoun that can be a fa'il. We haven't. Okay, and let me explain what I mean by that. So personal pronouns as verb subjects, then none. Okay, none. Rather what we have is we have signs. We have things that allude to it being either masculine or feminine, and then we can guess. So the 4 pronouns, these 4 pronouns, أنا أنت هو and هي, these 4 pronouns, pay attention. When we have, for example, how do we say أنا when it comes to a verb? We say أستيقظ, صح? So we prefix a hamza before the verb. Okay, أشرب. Okay, we prefix a hamza before the verb. This hamza is not the actual, is not a personal pronoun. The hamza is not a personal pronoun. Okay, when it comes to anta, what do? We prefix a ta. We say tashrabu. This ta is not a personal pronoun. It's just a sign. Okay, the actual pronoun we say here, grammatically speaking, okay, in grammar they say ضمير mustatir. They say it's a hidden personal pronoun. It's implicit. It's hidden. It's not apparent. Okay, wujuban, it has to be that way. Okay, so أنا, always the personal pronoun. When you say أشرب, then the actual fa'il, we say it's hidden. It's there. تقديره أنا. Okay, it's meant to be أنا, but it's not. It's never explicitly mentioned. So أشرب means I drank. Where is the personal pronoun? It's أنا, but it's never explicitly mentioned. Okay, تشرب أنت. Okay, and for هو we prefix a ya, يشرب. Okay, and for here we prefix a ta as well, تشرب. Okay, تشرب فاطمة, تشرب, ta, تشرب. Okay, or تشرب, If I say, for example, ماذا تفعل فاطمة, and you say تشرب الحليب, she's drinking milk. Okay? تشرب. Okay. Is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? I have problems switching between WooClap, Quizlet, and Zoom. When it comes to Zoom, normally when we are on WooClap, then the question will be clear on WooClap. You don't need to be on Zoom. So you can just, your phone should allow you to change screens, inshallah. طيب. Otherwise, inshallah, we'll help you with that technical problem after the class, inshallah. طيب. So these are signs, okay? Is there a little overlap here? Yes, there's a little overlap, which is أنت and هي. And I think we talked about that before. Okay, أنت and هي. So أنت تشرب, هي تشرب. There's an overlap there. Okay, but because of the context, we normally never get confused by this. Okay, and the reason there's an overlap is because ta is denotes you as much as it denotes female. It denotes both. So ta is used for mukhatab, the person you're talking to, but ta is also one of the main signs of female, of the female gender. Okay, when it comes to the words. So that's why we have ta over here. But today we have introduced a verb subject as an explicit pronoun, which is what we call the ya al-mukhatabah. Ya al-mukhatabah. So when we said anti, when we said, for example, ماذا ستفعلين يا فاطمة تفعلين, we said it has a ya and a nun at the end, right, as a suffix. Now this is a pronoun. Okay, so the pronouns as fa'il, they occur as suffixes. They occur as they occur by being attached to the end of the verb. Okay, so whenever you find something attached to the end of the verb, yes, that functions as a pronoun, then you can know when it comes to the fi'l mudari' that we're talking about now, this bit that's attached to the verb, then this is the fa'il. This is the fa'il. Okay? طبعا the object can also attach to it. We'll talk about that later. Okay? So we have ماذا ستفعلين يا فاطمة. This إين at the end, this is actually the fa'il. Is what? The fa'il. Okay? So we would say it's the fa'il or the verb subject. Okay? طيب. So let's do a quick exercise on WooClap to practice this, inshallah. Okay, 1 minute. Okay, everyone ready? Okay, here we have ماذا and then something طارق. ماذا and then something طارق. Choose the correct word that belongs there. Okay. It seems to be like almost 50-50. Okay. Some of you said ستفعل, some of you said سيفعل. Okay. Now yes, I expected this to happen. Okay, I expected this to happen. And before I tell you the answer, actually I'll tell you the answer, no problem. The correct answer is سيفعل. Okay? ماذا سيفعل طارق? Why is it not ستفعل? Why is this one wrong? It would have been ستفعل if there was actually a ya there calling upon طارق. Okay? But there's nothing to suggest here in this sentence that you're addressing طارق. So the correct answer would be ماذا سيفعل طارق. ماذا سيفعل طارق. Okay, next one. ماذا something يا أحمد. ماذا something يا أحمد. That's the question. I like to normally navigate away from the Okay, let's check. Okay, so still people seem to be some people said سيفعل. Well, the correct answer here is ستفعل. Why? Because of the ya. So this ya tells you that you're addressing Ahmed. Since you're addressing Ahmed, you have to use the ta المخاطب. ماذا ستفعل يا أحمد. Okay, next one. ماذا something يا لطيفة. ماذا something يا لطيفة. Okay, so we have some of you said ستفعل. Okay, which is wrong. ستفعل, you can use it for female, but that's when you're talking about third person. Okay, but here we're not talking about third person, are we? We're addressing Latifa. We're addressing her. Okay, ماذا ستفعل يا لطيفة. Sorry, ماذا ستفعلين يا لطيفة. ستفعلين because we're addressing her. This is the يا المخاطبة that we've learned today. Okay, so when you're addressing a female, you add a ya and a noon at the end. Okay, next one. ماذا something فاطمة. ماذا something and then فاطمة. Okay, so this one, there's a big discrepancy here. I expected this one to be more challenging. طيب. ماذا something فاطمة. Okay, so most of you got it correct, alhamdulillah. Okay, basically ستفعل is the correct one. Why? Because we're talking about third person. هي is تا. ماذا ستفعل فاطمة. And ستفعلين is wrong because we're not addressing her. Okay, there is no ya over here. When there's a ya, that means you're addressing her. And سيفعلين doesn't exist. Okay, I made that up. سيفعلين is something that if we were to use our logic, it might have made sense logically speaking. Okay, so you have ستفعلين when you're addressing her. So when you're talking about her, سيفعلين. That might have made sense, right? But no, that's not the case. So سيفعلين doesn't exist. Okay, ممتاز. That's great. After that, we have putting a verb in the future tense. We already talked about that, which is we prefix a scene to it, or also we can also add another word called sofa. We haven't covered that yet. That was pretty straightforward. A verb's object, I was going to do some practice on that, but it seems like we ran out of time. It's workshop time, so I'm gonna have to leave that for another time, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, we'll do a quick exercise on ordinal and cardinal numbers. So we mentioned that the difference between ordinal and cardinal numbers is what? Ordinal numbers talks about the order of numbers, whereas cardinal numbers is the quantity. So cardinal numbers tell how many of something, okay? They show quantity, whereas ordinal numbers, they tell the order of things. They show the position or rank of something, okay? So we're going to do a quick exercise on that. Just give me one moment. Okay, so the first question, you need to choose if it's an ordinal or cardinal number. So check on WooClap. We have الساعة الآن الخامسة والنصف. ساعة الآن الخامسة والنصف. So the number that we have here, is it cardinal, as in, are we talking about quantity, or is it ordinal? We're talking about order. Okay? Nah, so it's an ordinal number, yes. Okay? Because it's the 5th hour. 5 o'clock is the 5th hour. We're not talking about quantity. We're not talking about 5 hours. I've got 5 hours. No. 5:30, as in the 5th hour. Okay? How would you know in Arabic? In Arabic, it's pretty easy, actually. Okay? In Arabic, the ordinal numbers, they are adjectives. They are adjectives of the noun. So as you can see, al-khamisah is an adjective of as-sa'a. It's the same. Okay? طيب, next one. عندي 5 كتب. عندي 5 كتب. I have 5 books. Ordinal or cardinal? Okay. This one seems to be pretty straightforward. I think everyone's got this one right. MashaAllah. Yeah, so that's correct. عندي 5 كتب means I have 5 books. That's a cardinal number because we're talking about quantity. Okay, next one. أسكن في الدور الثالث. أسكن في الدور الثالث is an ordinal or cardinal number. Ordinal order. Ordinal, if you got confused by the two numbers, just think of ordinal order, in order. Okay. طبعا these English words, ordinal, cardinal, they're not important, but just I need to use it to gauge your understanding of this concept. Okay. In Arabic, it's called عدد ترتيبي, but that would be a new word for you to learn, which probably will be more difficult. I don't want to confuse you more than this. Okay, so yes, it's an ordinal number. الدور الثالث. So when we have, if you like, floors, first floor, second floor, third floor, third, that's order. Okay, it's not 3 floors. We're not talking about 3 floors. We're talking about the 3rd floor. Okay. If, for example, you were to buy 3 floors of an apartment, or you were to rent 3 floors of an apartment, that would be different. Then you would say استأجر 3 أدوار. Okay, I'm renting 3 floors. That would be quantity. Okay, last one. عمري 7. عمري 7. Is that cardinal or ordinal? عمري 7. My age is 7. 7 years. Okay, yeah, so this is cardinal. It's cardinal. And how would you know in Arabic? It's easy. I said to you this, if it's ordinal, it has to be an adjective. سبعة cannot be an adjective of عمري, because عمري is masculine, سبعة is feminine, so it can't be an adjective. So this rather, we have عمري 7 سنوات, 7 years. That's quantity now. طيب, هذا والله أعلم, وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد. Let's jump onto the Zoom the workshop, inshallah. I'm going to post the links to the workshop in the Telegram groups, inshallah, the private Telegram groups. Okay,